So The Last Dance, this has been something that has captivated everybody. Non-sports fans are watching. It's obviously the most successful documentary thing that they've ever run. Over 6 million last week. I assume the number's only going up as we go on. Rodman didn't make nearly enough of an appearance this week, but it was a lot around maybe a little drama. I want to say a little drama this week. And when Jordan at the beginning of the thing said that people are probably going to think he's a horrible person, I think we're just starting to get maybe into the meat of that on why people could potentially think that. But I've enjoyed the hell out of this thing.
Jordan was not selling out, but they wanted so many people to watch that they had to fill football stadiums in Atlanta.
That, by the way, I did not know that happened. Is that something that just happens in regular season? Like the Atlanta Hawks can just be like, by the way, another team, the Chicago Bulls, they've done so well at drafting and marketing and winning that we should take advantage of this. Whenever the Bulls come to town, we're going to run out the Falcon Stadium so we can really just capture all the money we could possibly capture off of this human that lives in another city and is probably going to win. There was people sitting 145 yards away, not even in good view shot of the Jumbotron, just to say they were in the same building as Jordan. That's something that I would imagine would get a bit tiring if you're Jordan. He mentioned that. How everywhere he went, he was the Beatles. He's 6'6" so it's not like you can hide anywhere. But he became the face of he became the face of America to the whole world after that Dream Team trip. Him covering up the Reebok, by the way.
Unbelievable.
How about that footage inside the car where he's like, if that's what they think, I'm going to do. Like, just the amount of footage that they had in there, it was incredible. How about MJ, Magic, and Larry Bird?
That was incredible.
Incredible. Patrick Ewing coming in like, I don't want to hear you right now.
Don't start that.
Everybody feels the same way about him. They're like, because if you lose to him, you're going to hear about it for the rest of your life. Like, that is just what a savage of an individual Jordan was.
Also, with how tough it is to like sell tickets for teams like nowadays, it's crazy to think that they sold their entire slate of tickets for the whole season in like 2 hours the day that, for MJ's last season. That's insane.
I love that the commissioner, when he was giving him his MVP award at the All-Star game, was like, hopefully you'll come back and do this next year. Like, how fans are recruiting like Gronk out of retirement, and how like Brett Favre maybe was getting baited by his agents and other people. This was the commissioner like, hey man, we got a real good thing going if you would like to just stick around for another year or so. It was funny to me that he was so over just the entire thing. It seems now, granted, there are rumors that if you want to get into a rabbit hole on why he was thinking about retiring in different situations, but the fact that Phil Jackson was going to be gone and he said, well, if it's not Phil, I'm gone. I admire that type of loyalty. I want to let you know I admire that type of loyalty. And I like the fact that doing business with him is no easy task. He wasn't even going to get on a plane to go to Nike. Because he was an Adidas guy. Adidas is nowhere near going to offer us anything what Nike's going to offer. How about Converse being like, we don't think you're a top tier guy. Converse! Yeah! Converse is dead, literally dead right now. They're on skateboards and in rap videos whenever people are wearing Chucks kind of loose. Jordans people are dying for them literally at this point. It's just kind of those behind the scenes. Rest in peace to curly haired mullet Cuzzy.
John Wozniak
down there with the Jordan pin on his security guard thing, just betting. And I bet you they played that game every single night in that building. I bet you that was something they played every single night. They knew the rules too well. There was too many bets. I'll roll 3, 2, or 1. Like they had the lingo down. They had done that game no less than 1,000 times. And I would assume that's a moment that guy not only thought was awesome when it started, but I bet you Jordan was actually like, hey, this is probably like an actual friend of mine, this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because that security guard, right, if he wanted to be anything other than a security guard, he probably could have asked Jordan, put him in an awkward spot. That guy was completely happy with what he was doing. He enjoyed the moments where he got to gamble with the greatest of all time. And when he wouldn't, watch it roll into my pocket.
And they don't mention Jordan being a nice guy like that ever, and it's nice to see it. Finally.
Well, hold on. And then there was something where he was visiting with all the Make-A-Wish almost. Or
before and after the game.
You never hear about that. Ever. And when they went through his entire day, like as soon as he leaves the hotel, he's on, then he's got this, then he's got the game, then afterwards he's got before he's got the Make-A-Wish, and then this, and then that. It would get tiring. And then, by the way, you also have to be the best player on the court, because if one person gets you, they're going to tell the story for the rest of their life. And it feels like that's how he operates. He's like, I don't want anybody to ever say that they got me. But that golf guy did. He wrote a book about it. And that other guy was also running some side hustles. He should have just kept golfing with Jordan. So sorry to interrupt. If you're a man watching this, you deserve to have long, great. And you can do that now with our friends at Roman. Right now, you go to GetRoman.com. You get $10 off and free 2-day shipping on Roman swipes, which are guaranteed to make you have longer, more fulfilling every time you get in the sack. Now, let's get back to the fornicating action.
It was nice to see the Garden when the Garden was the Garden. And then when they're playing gambling game.
Those ones, by the way, those shoes. Don't even think about doing any physical activity in those shoes. You got no shot at all. Those things will bleed. How about him saying, the revolution of shoes here since the ones. Hey, but my feet were bleeding at halftime, but I was having a good game, so I wasn't going to take them off. He had like probably 40 shoes he could have picked at the time.
The office that they were gambling in, we've seen that office multiple times now. Like with just MJ and the security team in it. Did he have his own office in the locker room?
For sure did.
I don't know if it was technically considered his, but there's always like little back segments where people kind of stake claim or whatever. I'd assume that he did that to hide either from maybe families or media people or whatever. He got to go to the back. How about him just taking a couple day hiatus from the media? Let my dad talk. You want to let my dad talk?
Imagine blocked out up there.
Yeah, I mean, we went to the casino. What do you, we want to get away from a big city. I mean, the guy. What do you want from the guy? That would be awesome. Great shows, man. I wish we could just binge it. And if you're out there and you're thinking the same thing as us, there is a link out there. I mean, I've seen it on numerous occasions, and that's why the internet's the best. Why don't you just put that on ESPN Plus and let us go? I get the first two, I get the next two, but now we're in the meat of it. Just let us go ahead and finish. But ESPN also is like, we don't have this anymore. Everybody gets to get everything they wanted every single time. Let's make them wait a little bit and let's finish the whole story.
Do you think international audiences on Netflix can watch just the whole thing, or do you think it's rolled out the same way where it's just 2 each Sunday?
I would assume it's rolled out the same exact way. I would assume that's the case. Because if not, we just make that fake VPN thing and just hop over to Ireland or whatever we got to do.
And you'd see tweets, I guess, that were ruining next episodes.
Yeah, plus, I mean, the way that they're doing is technically good for us because it gives us something to talk about for 5 straight Mondays in a row.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, you're right. Thank you, ESPN. Thank you. I appreciate that. Foxy, what were you going to say?
That's what I was going to say. ESPN's programming, it talks about this Monday through Friday. Every show does.
Smart. It's good business because that's what we're probably going to do.